Last time on Expedition Drenched, we traveled across the world to look at a big, beautiful steel ketch named Sylfia that we hoped to purchase, fill up with crew, and take around the world. After laying eyes on her for the first time, we took her out for sea trials and got our first taste of New Zealand diving. After completing the sea trials, we were in love, so it was time to take the next step in the pre-purchase process.
The mornings in Keri are truly fantastic. It is so calm. The water is as flat as I've ever seen it, and the clouds are really crazy, and the way that it reflects on the water, it looks like fluffy marshmallow lily pads all over the surface. It's so cool. And it's a pretty great way to start the day, because today we are hauling this bad boy out of the water. I'm just gonna get the boat all tidied up, and then we're gonna set off into this beautiful morning. Look at this.
With the help of some friends of the owners, we would be taking Sylfia around the corner to the marina in Apua, where we'll be getting her engine, hull, and rigging inspected.
We have 0 wind today, and we are motoring our way down to Apua. We're gonna bring her into the boatyard, and I'm really excited and curious to see what kind of device they're gonna use to haul this massive 75-foot steel boat out of the water.
We secured Sylfia in between some big posts and ran lines underneath the hull. Then they cleared us all off the boat and used basically a massive winch to slowly pull her forward and into the slipway.
Sylfia is officially out of the water, and she is massive. Look at this boat. As soon as I saw her out of the water like this, she looks 10 times bigger. It's so crazy. It's like 95% humbling and amazing and so cool, and then just 5% terrifying. We've got a lot to learn and a long ways to go till we're ready to fully handle this beast, but we'll figure it out. We got this. All right, everybody, quick recap, because I have not been doing the best job of filming the last few days because it has been a learning experience, to say the least. So I've been really trying to concentrate on everything that's going on around me and learning as much as I can and taking it all in. But that being said, there's a few things we need to catch up on. The first is, if you didn't notice that Nate and Dee are nowhere to be seen thus far in this episode, it's because they are actually back in the US. It's kind of a funny story, I guess. It's funny to me, maybe not as funny to them. But when we originally made our arrangements to come out here and check out Sylfia, we booked our flights and we arranged all the dates with the owners of the boat before we booked the slipway for the haul out to do all the survey and the inspection. And as it turns out, there's only one spot that's big enough for Sylfia and in the marina, and it was already booked out. And we tried to change our flights, but they were like non-refundable, non-changeable. And so we decided that the best option was for me to stay and for them to take their flights home, and then we could make the decision as to whether or not we want to go ahead with the purchase. And then if all goes well, Nate would be coming out shortly after with all of our stuff. And then Dee will be joining us again late May or early June-ish as we get closer to our departure to Tonga. So, anyways, lesson learned. On to the survey and the inspection. It went really, really well. Sylfia is strong and seaworthy. She's pretty much rust-free, which was great news to hear because that's one of the main things that you have to worry about with steel boats. It was definitely a huge relief to hear that she is fit for the job that we intend to use her for, which is crossing oceans and traveling to crazy far-off corners of the globe. We did run into a little bit of a snag, let's call it, with the engine, and when they tested the oil, they found that there was some fuel in it. So after checking a few different things, they determined that we have some issues with our fuel injectors and the fuel injector pumps. And so they decided that we need to take that whole piece out completely, send it off to Auckland. So with all the information that we learned from the surveys and the inspections, and after a lot of thinking and pondering and conversations with all parties involved, we have made the huge, massive, incredibly exciting decision that, conditional on the engine returning a clean sample after we do all the repairs to it, that we are going to purchase Sylfia.
With our engine out of action, we hunkered in for what we thought would be a mellow week of settling into our soon-to-be new home. But the 1 week turnaround time soon turned into 2 weeks, which soon turned into 3 weeks, which soon turned into, well, you get the idea. So in the meantime, we got to experience our first taste of boat life on Sylfia, which, as you can imagine, included both ups and downs.
We've seen now sustained like 38 knots of wind, and it's been this way all damn day. Oh my god. There's lightning.
Dinghy is getting like thrashed over there.
The dinghy broke off last night.
Like the snap that connects to the dinghy to the line.
We wake up, dinghy's gone, and I don't know how I saw this thing. We're finally getting to it, and then we're gonna pull it off the rocks and try to figure it out. Just another day in the life. Have boat life up.
But on the plus side, we got a new washer.
So this is the current washer, and we measured it, and it's the exact width of this little doorway right here. There it goes. That is a snug fit right there. Go, yeah.
You guys.
Like a glove. Yeah. We're going over there. Come in hot. We're actually in a river inlet here, and so you get these massive tidal shifts. So right now it's low tide, and this whole area here is normally full of water, and you can bring the dinghy up right to the edge. Oh, there she is. Off she goes. So I was just thinking, this is a pretty lucky washer. Not many washers will get the chance to travel around the world on a sailboat.
That's true, that's true. This washer's gonna get out there and see the world.
Yeah.
See a lot of dirty panties.
Yeah. We're doing a good thing today. We're giving this washer a better life, for sure. Test number 1, will she fit through the first door?
Oh, hold up. Oh.
It's our first load of laundry. So exciting. This is the first like household appliance that Nate and I have owned together. It's a big day in our relationship. Other than a boat, you know.
The days and weeks rolled by with quiet sunsets, meals outside, days filled with editing videos, searching for the right crew, and letting the reality sink in that we're actually, truly going all in on this. And before we knew it, we got the call that the fuel injectors were ready to be picked up.
Here they come. Big things are happening today. The boys are rowing back in. They've got the injectors, the fuel injectors, and the ejector pump for the engine. And so we're very excited to have our engine back up and running. Oh, we got all kinds of treasures in there. We got a life raft. Hey, baby.
Hey, honey.
How heavy is it?
Really heavy.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna come help you guys. Oh.
Shiny, nice paint job. Alright, I got it. Yeah, I'll just stabilize it.
Oh, doing down here?
Pretty good. He points, he says put this here, and I put it there.
Are you finding which screws go in which slot?
Yeah.
Other guy took it apart because Sylvan wasn't here yet, and he took all the screws into this bowl, and now they're just trying to piece them back together. Many places over there.
It didn't take too long to piece together the puzzle, and it was time to fire her back up and check that everything was running smoothly again.
Here we go. I might go a little bit longer till we get a bit more oil through.
With our engine back in action, Sylvan's sister Sylfia, her partner Manu, and her dog Gyro were going to come out with us for a few days of cruising. But they didn't show up empty-handed.
It is big.
You got a good plank if you need the crew to walk the plank.
Probably set you up because you accepted the deal before you saw
twigs.
it. Yeah,
Just 2 bits of wood.
just a bit of wood.
Two
Just
bits
two
of wood.
slabs, honestly. Alright, you're gonna have to turn it first to get past the rigging.
Really?
Oh shit.
You alright? You good?
We made mention that we're gonna head down to Great Barrier Island. That's where Sylfia lives. So we've gotten suckered into taking some enormous logs down to her now. So now we're a cargo ship as well, and I like it.
Oh, this is light. Honestly, it's super light.
With our cargo secured, it was time to set off into the glorious day.
Check it out! What a beautiful morning it is. I'm very excited because we're gonna go scuba diving today. We're gonna go check out a wreck called the Canterbury. Feels so good to be out and about. It's a perfect day. It's one of the warmer days we've had in a while, and just a light breeze. Hopefully we'll be able to put the sails up once we get out of the channel here, and we'll take this big bad girl for a little cruise.
Why don't we chase down the weekend? Hang like fools from the ceiling. Even if it don't really make sense, I could get used to this feeling. Say, I wanna be your companion. I wanna be your companion.
How we doing?
Good. We almost cracked 8 knots, 7.9.
Oh, nice.
I tried to get it.
Well, it's been a while since we've been kind of stuck on the mooring, but we're finally sailing! It's blowing like 25 knots and we're cruising along. It's a beautiful sunny day and we're on our way to go scuba diving.
5 meters. Slow down. Go reverse a little bit.
It's a big day. Today is our first dive off Sylfia. And we're all ready except for we didn't think about the fact that we don't really have much weight. So I'm about to see what random heavy metal items I can find in the bilge to use as dive weights.
Let's see what we got in here. Oh, yeah. All kinds of stuff.
Slick hood you got right there.
Yeah.
What's the story of this hood, Sylvan?
It was my dad's hood when he was diving 40 years ago.
Nice. Like the 60s or 70s, huh? I love it.
Yeah.
Still
You
works.
look classy in it.
I like it.
Look distinguished. What's the name of the wreck, Sylvan?
Canterbury.
Do you know anything about it, or?
It was one of our main Navy ships for New Zealand. One of the 3 ships.
And did they sink it intentionally, or?
Yeah, they brought it here, stripped it, and then sunk it.
Cool.
We're the only ones here.
Yeah.
Got the whole beautiful bay to ourselves.
You look so funny in that hood. I love it.
Good.
How does it feel though? This is it. This is our dream. We're diving off our own boat.
Yeah,
It's happening
this is
today.
awesome.
Let's just take a minute
Thanks.
and soak that in.
Thanks for bringing us here so long.
Yeah.
No worries.
I'm gonna put the camera inside. I got my little peanut hood on as well. And we're gonna go dive off our boat for the first time. I'm so excited.
let down the line. When we laid eyes on this shipwreck, I was completely blown away. It is so big, and there's so much kelp and life and colors all over her. Such an impressive dive, and I can't wait to go inside and see what cool stuff we can find.
It's kind of creepy in here.
Should I ever see the light? Should I ever see the light?
It's amazing.
Nothing like a post dive hot curry, my shark onesie, and my electric heated jacket, and my scarf, and my hot chai tea. And we'll be back in business in no time. Your outfit looks so funny right now.
That was a really cool dive. That was a really, really cool dive. Super deep. We expected that.
Yeah.
What, about 120 feet, 40 meters? We got down there and like, you were like entering the hole and all of a sudden your computer's like beep, 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 beep. It was really cool coming up from that dive though, and like you could literally see Sylfia's enormous hole as you started coming up the line. So
The rays of light were dancing behind her as we came up. She looked heavenly.
Yeah, you know, first diving off of our own boat, and it doesn't get any better than that. Like the culmination of like why we're here is just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My stoke level is through the roof.
We did it, baby. We're living the dream. Nothing like a little fresh baked loaf of bread right after a dive on your own scuba diving sailboat. It's a pretty good day for us out here. We are about to jump into the frigid, dark, wintry waters next to some unidentified large marine animals. And I'm
for a night dive! Those are conditions.
yeah. What did you guys just see?
Up there, right there.
It was loud and it was big. I mean, but it was definitely a mammal because it was breathing.
So if you turn around the camera, Jordan's in a party suit.
No one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one bites the dust.
I like that.
Gotta get in there.
Is that what you're gonna do when the orca comes towards you? You're just gonna be like,
Oh my god. That was something like that.
I'm a tiny bit nervous, are you? Yeah. Yeah.
We just made it down to the wreck, and it is deep, it is dark, and it is cold.
Want it under my skin. I wanna let it in. I wanna lose control. I can't let you go. Oh, you make my head spin. Can you do it again? I don't know what's happening.
Wow, this is a spectacular dive. It is so interesting to dive a wreck during the day and then turn right around and dive it again at night. Some of the landmarks we definitely recognized from our first dive, but we've seen some new stuff as well, and everything just has a totally different feel to it at night. Seems more mysterious and more fantastic in a way. I'm definitely glad that we braved the cold to experience this dive.
Take your time and make me.
Very creepy down there, very dark, very cold, very deep. And it feels good to challenge yourself underwater and do something that I can't imagine that many people come out and do a night dive on this dive site. It's pretty far out there unless you're out here on your sailboat.
Oh, baby! That's
feel
good. Very good.
What do you think of your first night scuba dive?
Fucking pretty sick. So sick. Like, look at you can't even hold the camera straight.
That's how I feel right now, people.
Tune in next week as we get a taste of the good life in Oki Bay. Then set off on an adventure to pick up a new outboard for our dive dinghy.